Present, the infection has been limited to this city and Nagano, Japan. But given the disease's mode of transmission, the prospect of containment is unlikely.
This disease stems from a cellular reaction to certain subharmonics of a series of radio frequencies. Essentially, it's a biological response to a sound. If we lose containment, the number of people infected could reach the hundreds of millions within a few days.
Dr. Hemplin, epidemiology. How difficult can it be to keep a sound from spreading?
If I may. The sound or signal is perceived by those susceptible to the disease as music, and the listener experiences an intense euphoria, which is highly addictive. And this is accompanied by an equally intense desire to share the experience.
Several such raves have been sprouting up through the city all night, despite our best efforts to impose curfew.
And this signal is coming from space?
The short answer to that is yes. A number of our observatories have now picked it up. The signal is repeating and is, apparently, of artificial origin.
Who's sending it?
We don't know. The signal composition is highly complex. It's extremely difficult to interpret.
Doctors, the military believes that this signal is no accident. It seems very likely an act of war.
What we do know is that it was generated by a race far more advanced than we are. The best people in the world are analyzing it, and we're currently exploring a number of possible ways to reverse the effects.
However, at the present, there is no cure.
Excuse me, isn't it dangerous to expose yourself to the signal?
Not to adults. The disease seems to affect young people exclusively, especially those in their teenage years.
Right, and not just people. I exposed several different plants and animals to the signal. Apparently, whoever sent it intended it for a wide spectrum of life forms.
You were the one who picked up the signal in the first place.
Yes.
So why hasn't it affected you?
It has.
Devon is on the cusp between his teen years and full adulthood. That is how he was able to hear something in the signal without suffering its effects right away. Between the ages of 20 and 24, the disease seems to progress at a much slower rate. Over the age of 24, people seem to be completely immune.
So what you're telling us is that they're trying to hurt our children?
So it would seem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the clock is running. Let's get to work before this becomes a pandemic.
I think I know what's happening.
Devon, the entire scientific community is studying this problem. We haven't even scratched the surface.
Because they can't hear it like I can. The more I listen to it, the more beautiful it sounds. The more I learn to accept it like Joyce.
Devin, look at yourself. You have to stop listening. The disease is starting to affect your thinking.
But what if it's not a disease? I mean, Dad, isn't it true that the only ones who've died so far are the ones we've tried to cure?
Yes.
Right, you see? The signal is not meant to harm us, only to change us. Every living thing, the more I listen to it, the more I hear that. I feel it.
But that's the endorphin effect. It's like an opiate.
No, that's just to make the change less painful. More easy to accept. Didn't Joyce even say that she was ready? Right? Deep down inside, she knew. Her body knew that it was time to change.
What kind of change?
Look, I bombarded everything on this table with high levels of ultraviolet radiation, enough to kill any normal plant or animal. The only ones that managed to survive are the ones that I exposed to the signal. We're changing. We're being changed for a reason.
How far back do you want me to go?
As far as possible.
60 years?
Sure.
My God, Devin.
What are we looking at?
This is the star that our radio signal came from, as it appears in 1937. It's a yellow dwarf, much like our own sun.
And this is the star as it appears today. A blue dwarf.
I don't understand.
Their sun changed.
It's shifted, rather. towards the ultraviolet. And I was about to do the same thing.
All that increased solar activity, the sunspots, they were warning signs. We didn't even see it coming.
But they did. Because it happened to them. To survive, they had to adapt, to change. And they're offering us that same choice. The music wasn't an act of war. It's an act of mercy. They're trying to save us.